Joining me via Zoom from Abuja to discuss this all-important day is a registered dietitian and nutritionist, Vivian Ede-Osondu. Thank you so much for joining us on TVC News this hour. Talk to us about the significance of commemorating this day, World Food Day.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. World Food Day is celebrated all over the world, 16th of October of every year. And this is so important and is apt, especially at this point in time where we are still trying to recover from COVID-19 pandemic, the war between Russia and Ukraine, insecurities everywhere. So it's very important. And this team is also very apt at this point to leave no one behind. Let everyone be inclusive in achieving food security, in achieving access to nutritious food. So it's very key and important that this is celebrated to create awareness all over the world about nutritious food and access to food security. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, one will always ask why they need to commemorate this day, because naturally man must eat, man must find something to eat. So it is very sacrosanct that for one to survive, one has to eat. But then it's important to also ask, how far do you think Nigeria has actually gone in achieving the quest for food sufficiency?
Well, thank you very much for that question. Well, for the Sustainable Development Goal, which states in the second goal that by 2030, we should have zero hunger all over the world. But if you look at Nigeria, especially in this year, 2022, you would agree with me that I think we are still far-fetched from that particular goal. If you look at the rising food prices, the inability of people to be able to consume even 3 meals a day, a lot of children cannot even eat. The school program, I don't know how far it has gone in a lot of schools in Nigeria. So you find out that Nigeria is far-fetched. There was a report in 2021 that in this year, 2022, you have about 12.1 million Nigerians who would be involved in food insecurity crisis. And if you look around, if you go to the market, you will know that this is true, because everything has risen, both from processed food to natural food. And then with the flood coming in Adamawa State, I heard about 89,000 farmlands, were actually destroyed by the recent flooding. Lokoja is blocked. Everywhere is being flooded because of climate change. So if Nigeria would not do much, to prepare and avert this climate change, the one that we can avert, the one that we can prevent, then I can assure you that it is far-fetched to achieve this zero hunger by 2030 for Nigeria. There are a lot of rules, there are a lot of policies, that have been offered, that has been proposed. But you find out that implementation of these policies has become a challenge. If you look at something like exclusive breastfeeding, which Nigeria is just at 29%, and for World Health, it is stated that at least by 2025, every country all over the world should have about 50% of exclusive breastfeeding. Exclusive breastfeeding is something that can offer a child, particularly 0 to 6 months, food security. But if you look at the rates or our status in Nigeria right now at about 29%, you find out that we have a lot of work to do. So in achieving this zero hunger, I don't think Nigeria will be able to achieve this by 2030, except all hands is on deck, from corporate bodies to professionals, to the farmers, to the government, putting hands together to achieve this. But personally, from my own end, with all the statistics that we're seeing, with the stunting level, the Northwest, the insecurities, the conflict everywhere, I don't think we can achieve this.
Well, that's really something that is not quite, lovely to hear about. Also, talking about the crisis between the fight between the bellicose countries, Ukraine and Russia, war, is also taking a toll on the world economy, as well as, talking about the importation or exportation of wheat, fertilizers and all that, and the prices of goods and services. So what exactly do you think can be done to ensure that we achieve this goal?
Okay, from empowering more of our farmers. Agriculture is the key. Agriculture is the engine, right? They need grants. They need to observe or do what we call, because it will not be easy to continue to import. This would have a negative effect even on our economic growth. So if we empower the farmers and they are able to achieve mechanized farming, that will lead to more production. This will help us curb the economic crisis that we would have as a nation. If you look at even the countries that are importing from Russia, from Ukraine, certain food products, for some time now that has not been able to, that has not been achievable. So for us here in Nigeria, to be able to combat that, we need to empower the farmers. Everyone needs to get involved. Investors need to come in. It's not just the government that can do this. Corporate bodies can invest, so that we can expand the agriculture. And this is the only way we can meet up with the timid population increase in Nigeria and even all over the world. If we begin to produce this, we have arable lands. If we begin to produce, we can also export and then improve our own GDP, even here in Nigeria.
Well, a registered dietitian and nutritionist, Vivian Ede-Osondu, thank you so much for your insight at this time.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.